All right, Caleb, let's take a look at it. 21 of 29, 149 yards, 10 on the ground, the 1 touchdown pass to DJ, and he was unbelievably, when I look at these, it felt like he was sacked 10 times. He was only sacked once.
When I saw the one sack, it seemed literally like he was sacked 6 or 7 times. Yeah. He's very good at eluding some of these sacks, but it was a lot of up and down, right? Some missed throws, holding the ball at times, not making the right decisions. But as the game goes on, and pretty much every game, he seems like he gets better, especially in the fourth quarter, which is something you want to see from your young quarterback. And I just like the fight that he has, right? Scratching, clawing, some of those where he's about to get sacked, he throws the ball to the receiver at the ground, making good decisions. So he hasn't turned the ball over in a while. Keenan Allen was the one that had the interception. What was it, since the 6th game of the season? Caleb hasn't thrown a pick?
Well, he had one at the end of the game. But other than that.
Very clean about taking care of the football. Yes, there's a lot that he has to work on, but I think the talent is there. And with the new coaching staff, the head coach, the coordinator, hopefully they're going to, create some very good habits with him and eradicate some of those bad habits that we see.
Yeah, no question. I mean, they have so much they have to get right on the line of scrimmage, getting an offensive line for not just your quarterback, but for your offense and your run game to try to balance off what you're putting on Caleb. But you saw more than a few times here today where he made some incredible throws. There was the one to DJ Moore where he rolled out of the pocket as the defensive end came free, and he was able to rip a strike to DJ Moore. You saw a few times, even throughout the game, as ugly as it was and as much as the stats weren't really showing it, this ability, the flashes, as you like to say, and the consistency just hasn't been there. But then as the going got tough, you got to the fourth quarter, Caleb Williams was making some plays. Now, how many times they're going to draw up screens? Man, I hope, I get screens got to be a part of your offense, but man, can we dial some screens back in 2025? Albeit DJ Moore's screen did go to the house, but man, are we overcooking the ham when it comes to screens? It's just, it gets to a point where it's just nauseating.
Well, you wonder when they're calling as many quick hitters or just plays designed to get the ball out of his hand as quick as possible. You're wondering if they're not trusting, A, the offensive line, B, if he's seeing it, C, trying to make things easier. And sometimes it looks incredibly ugly. It can't look any uglier than when DJ Moore fumbles the football, it gives which ends up putting the Packers ahead. Yep. So I do wonder how much is in there. I just look at his consistency with being connected to his targets. Today it was DJ, 9 catches for 86 yards. The touchdown pass was, more of a well-designed play and a creative DJ Moore just finding his way as he does for 32 yards. Beautiful throw to Keenan, but 3 catches for Keenan today on 3 targets, 2 for Rome on 2 targets with beauty on the final drive down the sidelines. That was, tiptoeing, hanging in there. That was beautiful. Roshan actually had 5 catches today. Yep. And one of them was
a couple clutch ones.
Was huge.
Check down to him for the first down.
Yeah, and had to zing it in there. That was a productive.
Then I think my favorite play of the game from Caleb was the throw to Rome Odunze to get down the field to kick the game-winning field goal. I mean, the degree of difficulty to keep his feet in bounds as he's falling, like that's what the top wide receivers in football do. And so Rome and Caleb haven't been on the same page like you'd like to see between top quarterback, your top wide receiver taken at number 9, but they are both rookies. And the one thing they have shown consistently throughout the year is at the end, that is who Caleb believes in. That's who he depends on in those clutch moments, who he trusts, who he goes to in those big moments. And Rome has come through for him in those big moments as well.
So I think a lot of going back to Caleb, a lot of his bad habits are because of the offensive line. So granted, yes, he does hold the ball too long and this, but sometimes it's hard with some of the decision making, throwing the ball down the field. If you do not trust your offensive line, it creates a lot of bad habits, right? We saw that with Sam Darnold when he played for the Jets and some of these other teams. We've seen it with Baker Mayfield, right, when he was playing for the Browns on some of his bad years. If you do not have a great offensive line, you're going to start seeing stuff. You're seeing that phantom pressure. You're going to get the ball out errantly. Like, there's going to be a lot different decision making than when you can trust your protection and your offensive line and your running back picking up things. So I think it's been a combination of the offensive line, running backs at times maybe not picking up the blitzes correctly. A lot of these bad habits create because you're having to run for your life. We saw the same thing with Justin Fields at times. Not comparing them by any means, but that was what happens when you have an offensive line that cannot protect.
Right, and I don't want to be unfair to anybody, but DeAndre Swift, that ain't it. That's just not going to be what that's not going to work. You need some if it is going to be DeAndre Swift, you have to have a much better second option than Roschon Johnson to go along with them. It's just not good enough. So as far as like taking pressure off of Caleb, it's not just the O-line. I think you're going to have to upgrade the run game next.
Well, we talked about that. We were watching the game. Look at all the teams that are really doing well right now. Yeah. The common denominator is a run game. We look at Philly. Sure. Right? We look at the Ravens. Right? We look at some of these teams. It takes pressure off. And Lamar's having a great year. He had a great year the year before, but it looks like they're finally going to take that next step.
Yeah. So let's look at Steven was able to whip up Caleb Williams' stats for the entire season here.
All right.
Thank you. That's Steven working hard all season long here on CHGO Bears. Shout out to Steve-O. But there is Caleb Williams' season stats for 2024, his rookie year. 62.5 completion percentage, passing yards, 3,542 passing yards, I believe. That's fifth all time for any Bears quarterback ever. 489 rushing yards to go along with that. So by my short math there, that means he fell just short of, or no, he gets over 4,000 yards, total yards. Thank you. I almost butchered that with my Bragg's math. Thank you. And then 20 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. So he hits the 20 touchdown mark, stays under 10 interceptions for the year, and then 68 sacks, which means he only was sacked one time today, stays under the 70 sack total mark.
Not the
there.
David Carr mark, right?
Yeah, stayed out of the 70 club.
Oh,
well,
man.
So couple hundred yards short of the Bears record, which I said in pregame that we would never talk about again, but now I'm bringing it up myself. So hypocrite Carm, but so he does, he left that out there for him in year 2. But on the whole, if they told you, hey, rookie year, he's going to throw for 3,500 yards, he's going to throw 20 touchdowns passes, his touchdown interception ratio is going to be 3-1. I'm not going to tell you how many wins the Bears are going to have, but those are going to be the numbers for Caleb Williams that he's going to build off of on year 1. I don't think any Bears fan wouldn't have said, I'm good with that.
Right.
I would take that.
Over 4,000 yards, 20 touchdowns or more, less than 10 picks. Those are good benchmarks to have, and we understand there's a lot of context that goes with those yards and how this season unfolded, and you guys can fight over the garbage yards or not, but at the end of the day, Caleb Williams, if, as I've said before, we've said many times here on the show, if this is his floor as a rookie, which is what we hope it is,
what's the ceiling?
Then what's the ceiling? Because the ceiling can be something that we've never experienced here in Chicago. Yeah. As long as we don't hit a wall, as Lance Briggs said, which with the Bears you can never rule out. But I'll take the floor for Caleb Williams here in his 2024 rookie year, and I'm excited to see what his ceiling can be.
We all silly like the mayor.